believe firmly that, quote, in thy light we shall see light.
The light we're talking about is the light of Christ.
We have the G factor, that is the God factor. It directs us to do the right things.
Crystal clear, you were molded into a whole human being. You were molded into somebody who had objectives that you really, really wanted to achieve.
We look back at our very, very, very powerful past, and then we stand upon it to declare a very, very prosperous present in the academia, in governance, and all those things.
Presec is a feeling. It's a feeling, it's a brand. Others say they've gone to schools, ours is a feeling.
(1828), first batch of Basel missionaries arrive in Osu exactly 1 week before Christmas. None of the four lived to see the end of their first year in the Gold Coast. 1843, Reverend Andreas Rees is part of a delegation to the West Indies to recruit black missionaries. 1914, breakout of World War I. Basel missionaries are forced to leave Ghana. The deportations led to the awakening of strong voices of independence and a can-do spirit in the local church. This spirit was personified in Reverend Nicholas Clerk, the first synod clerk of the Presbyterian Church of the Gold Coast and a staunch advocate of secondary education. He led the charge of the locals at the 1937 Church Synod in favor of setting up the school with a battle cry, "We have the men and we shall certainly start in 1938.
In 1937, at the Odumase Synod, the decision was finally taken that the school will be established the following year. They made an estimate of about £10,000. Christianborg congregation, the Osu congregation here, contributed £10. Abokobi congregation or district contributed £4. Dodowa contributed £3, 3 shillings. Sra contributed 3 shillings, and others who came in to contribute. The Equiapim and Nome Presbytery had contributed £600 towards the establishment of the school, and they decided finally to establish the school in Odumase temporarily with the mandate to look for a new site for the secondary school. So the school eventually was started in February 1938 in Odumase by the church, with every member of the congregations in the church contributing something towards the establishment.
"We have the men" was the battle cry, and when the call came, the men answered. Reverend Engman Augustus Wilkins Engman, Reverend Enoch Joseph Klufio, Mr. Edward K. Dacha, along with Reverend Nicholas Clerk, and just as instrumental in the founding, nurturing, and growth of the Presbyterian Boys Secondary School, these men were all products of the Presbyterian educational and disciplinary system. They epitomized the biblical mandate of the Basel missionaries to carry the light of the gospel to all in the world, and the motto of Presec, "In thy light we shall see light." They formed a triumvirate of illustrious headmasters who oversaw the development of Presec into an institution ranked consistently at the top or one of the top secondary schools in Ghana.
This school, from humble beginnings in Odumase in 1938, with 16 boys and 4 teachers, has become, for me and for many Ghanaians, one of the best senior high schools, if not the best, in Ghana.
At 10 a.m., 31st January 1938, 10 students and 4 teachers gather for the first convocation ceremony. Christian Asabosompem Ekropong, Osai Ado Ekropong, Ebenezer Owusu Pari Ekropong, Emmanuel Ado Jansa Aprede Equiapim, Stephen Alfred Abekwashi, La. Daniel Alfred Badukote, Osu. Samuel Nimakon, Esuom Achim. Bennett Bampo Newman, Somanya. Emmanuel Benson Ansa, Mampong Equiapim. Rudolph Peter Nyako, Odumase Krobo. (1940), J.L. Annan composes Happy Are We, the school anthem.
Every time you remember our anthem, to take our places in the future of our church, to take our places in the future of our country, you want to go out and hold your chest high and say, yes, the Presec boys are here, the Christian gentlemen are here. And we set standards for ourselves, and we need to always beat the standards, because no matter how comfortable you are, there's a Presec up there who you can look up to it. So it's quite encouraging.
The Presec At is a fantastic prayer that if people would think back to when you're told we're getting trained to take our places in the future of our country, and not only our country, but of our church as well. That's a prayer.
Happy are we, studios are we, students of Presbyterian Secondary School.
Onward we march, we stride along to happy victory, to victory, to victory. Our motto is a solid from pumping us along. In the light, we shall see light, illuminate with every Muslim man. For Christian training, we get the solid foundation. Take our places in the future of our country.
Oh, come along and join us. Oh, come along and join us. Happy studios are we.
That was fun. That was fun.
(1950), the Presbyterian Church and school authorities start thinking about moving Presec from Odumase to Legon. 1955, Reverend A.L. Kwanzaa is appointed Synod Clerk. He fights against all odds to ensure relocation of Presec to Legon. 1960, Reverend Kwanzaa makes a direct appeal to the President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, to fund the rehousing of the school. The president agrees to help, and the government of Ghana takes over the rehousing project. 1968, in September, under the leadership of Mr. Ike Dacha, headmaster, Mr. Apiedu, assistant headmaster, Presec relocates to Mile 9. The Legon campus started with 4 student boarding houses. They were named after notable Presbyterians. These are Kwanzaa House, Clerk House, and Engman House. The 4th was named Akro House after the people of Krobo at Odumase.
Clark House boys are quite rowdy. Most of them are strong. They are good in sports. Engman House, they are known to be the most entertaining house on campus because they have a lot of entertainment committee boys. They are known to have a lot of rappers, singers, and dancers. Kwanzaa House boys are known to be very, very neat. They are known to be very disciplined. They are known to be reserved boys.
(1975), establishment of the National Science College. Enrollment of the first female students into Presec.
That was the first time Presec was taking girls. The then headmaster, Right Reverend E.S. Matekoju, invited us to come to Presec. I mean, hitherto he had taught us in Achimota School, and he selected some of us who had done well at the O level to come and start this new program in Presec because he could count on us. First for academic work, and secondly for our character and conduct. He could vouch for us that we could be there in the midst of the boys. Well, we did come to Presec, and that was a whole new chapter. With about 1,000 boys and only 12 girls, 12 lower 6 girls who had been admitted into the school. There was one other girl, Barbara Yani, who was in upper 6. She had come to do a resit. So, we're 13 girls. And we found it very challenging.
You can imagine being in a boys' school and all of a sudden you have a chance to hang out with the girls, So the teacher is teaching and not listening, you're gazing at some girl's face. But after a couple of my friends had been busted in the shadows at night on the streets of Presec and made to weed alongside junior boys, as the guys say, were hellish.
Academic excellence was the pride of the school, and this was fully recognized when the Sixth Form Science College was introduced in 1975.
When it comes to Presec, everybody brings their A game. All the good schools from around the country will converge at Presec, and it was really competitive. We studied on our own, a lot of the things we did on our own, because you knew you had to move ahead of the pack to really be recognized. It was competitive, and that competitive spirit, I think, is what has carried on some of us up until this point.
1995, Presec wins the second National Science and Math Quiz competition. 2003, Presec wins at the National Science and Math Quiz for the second time. 2006, Presec makes history by winning the National Science and Math Quiz for the third time. The trophy remains in the hands of Presec for keeps. 2008, Presec wins the National Science and Math Quiz for an unprecedented fourth time. 2009, Presec becomes the first school to successfully defend its National Science and Math Quiz NSMQ title, winning it for the fifth time.
You can't do without prefects. The prefects are the representatives of the head and his assistants in the various areas, the dormitory, the dining hall, classrooms, everywhere. They play a crucial role. Without them, we can't run the school because they are there to maintain discipline and order.
We all congregated there 3 times a day. So the dining hall prefect had much more to do on a daily basis than the school prefect or the senior prefect. And 3 times a day, he had to maintain law and order. There were also those junior fellows, junior to you, but probably in Form 4, Form 5, etc. at the time, who would play to the gallery. And the easiest place they always had the opportunity to do so was in the dining hall. Show off or to show that they are stubborn or they are popular, and the dining hall prefect had to use a mixture of tact, firmness, and occasionally strength to show that, listen, you cannot cross this line.
To be a CBO, one must be upright, one must be disciplined, one must be somebody who commands respect easily. Another important requirement was that anybody who was to hold that position must be academically above average, so that even if you lost time doing that work, the negative repercussions would not undo you academically.
It's great to be a Presec. We are being trained to take our part in the future of where? Our country and church. In the history of Ghana, there has been no speaker who had 15 members of parliament to protect his interests. We are happy, and a Presec boy must be progressive, happy, active. He can dance when you have to dance, and he can sing when you have to sing, and can do everything when you have to do it, because he's a Presec boy. All right?
When there comes a time when you're feeling sad and the troubles are pushing you just so bad, step aside to the side of life, but there's so much fun that you just can't hide. Snap your fingers and get your groove on. Get your groove on.
And he's studious. Because without the book, you are not going to be part of the future.
I feel very happy
happy as a Presec At?
The reversal of
Onward we march, we try to have victory.
And I used to proudly say, I think I continue to, that medicine, the most uncommon of all professions, was the commonest in my class. So, Onyeo.
We are 80 years, and 80 years gives us the opportunity to look into our past. The past is amazing. The question is, what are we doing? We are not visible. Number two, we're not vibrant, and we've left the scene of vibrancy vacated it for other people. My purpose was to make the alumni visible. Number two, vibrant, and then number three, viable. And so each and every alumni must then stand up and be counted. And each and every alumni must recognize that we have a responsibility for the relationship you have with Presec. And it's not time for us to say, what can Presec do for me again? For Presec has done something for us. It's not, what can I do for Presec?
People are beginning to see that if a toilet is broken in their school, it is up to them to go out there and fix it. If books are inadequate, if resources, computers are inadequate, the onus is on the alumni and say, this is our school and this is where we want to get to. So it is up to us, if we have built that capacity in us to a point that we can give back, it is imperative that we give back. We should begin to track students. As long as they've been with us 3, 4, 5 years, they've become part of the family. And for that matter, we should make a conscious effort to follow them and to applaud in their successes and to lament in their failures and to give them encouragement that we are still with you. And we believe that we have given you what it takes to go out into the real world and to succeed. And if you have done well, we are also training up incoming students. So do well to support us.
I don't think that the Presec alumni gave enough back. Even as everybody seems to struggle to make a living, we should all look to give to Presec. Alumni must develop the facilities in that school. You have some very, very good alumni who have made significant contribution to the school. But I think that contribution can be enhanced and improved if more in the year groups join.
Everyone must make an investment in Presec. Investment of our time, the investment of our talents, and the investment of our treasures. It's time.
The Presec that you see today will be a different Presec in another 10 years. Because all of us are going to put our hands on the wheel to let the school be what we want it to be.
We are just fortunate to have had the privilege to have walked through the walls of Presec and turned out to be who we are today.
Every society has different influences. In Ghana, the church has had such a great influence, and the Presbyterian Church through Presec has had such a significant influence. And may we ever appreciate that.
I'll describe Presec in one word as formidable.
Constructive.
Phenomenal.
Presec is the school.
I just want to congratulate Presec and to wish everybody well. I pray that the next 80 years will be an amazing time. We will have a lot more strong people to show our contribution to the nation. We'll be stronger and bigger, and we can only get better as other years. So happy anniversary, everyone.